Just Killing Time is brought to you by Anderson Rifles. Grab your gear and come on with us, heading out from dawn to dusk. Get 'em in your sights and let it fly. Amped up to close the deal and a pocket full of tags for filling. One thing I can say keeps me alive, just killing time.
Several years ago, I got a call from Brian Lewis down in Danville, Virginia. Brian's the coordinator for the Jake's event for the Dogwood chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation. We started going down there and doing some seminars for the kids, just talking to them a little bit about, basic turkey sounds, the subspecies of turkeys, the habits of turkeys, how we hunt the turkey, just various different things. And I tell you, it really enriched my life, started working with these young people. Everybody says that, the people that do these Jake's events, I and other people like me, we doing service for the community and for our young people, but I look at it the other way. I think the community and the young people that show up at these events are doing a service for us. It's just so rewarding, and it's just to get to talk to people and get to know people. It's really neat, and to work with these young people, especially me not having any children of my own, it's just a really blessed time for me.
Welcome, guys. I appreciate you coming out on such a cold day. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it about 80 degrees Wednesday or so? But we'll still have a good time, I promise you that. To get things started, one of the things that the National Wild Turkey Federation's always all for is the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could get, is there a Cub Scout available to come up and grab our flag and lead us? Come on up. All right, guys, if all of y'all would stand, gentlemen, take off your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you'll go ahead and get with your group leaders. Just look at your name tag, and it should have your color on there. Group leaders, hold your signs up. The kids that are going to the farthest away stations, we have a trailer here.
At every Jake's event I've ever been a part of, hunter safety and hunter ethics have always been a big component. Nobody does this any better than the guys down at the Dogwood chapter. Every station, every seminar, we were asked to talk about safety, weapon safety, identifying your target, what's beyond, talk about obeying game laws, and just being a good sportsman and a good steward of the game and the land in general. And that, it's never too early to instill that in our young people.
Besides all the activities and stations for the kids, each individual young person received a goodie bag full of all kinds of neat things. Some from the NWTF, some from other people that helped out and sponsored the Jake's event, but regardless, it's something neat, something extraordinary for the young people, especially those interested in the outdoors, to experience. If you haven't been to a Jake's event, you need to try one. There's more action on the way, folks, when we return right here on Just Killing Time.
You got to be asking yourself, what am I looking at? What is this mess? One of the largest rifle distributors in the country pitted the Anderson rifle against one of the top leading brands in a shootout. The leading gun was prepped thoroughly, cleaned and lubricated to perfection. The Anderson rifle was cleaned but stripped of all lubrication. It was fired completely dry. This is only possible because the Anderson was treated with RF85, the permanent treatment that reduces friction 85%. The rifles were fired as fast as humanly possible. In less than an hour, the leading brand rifle failed at 900 rounds. An hour went by. Then 2. Then 3. The Anderson kept firing. After 4 hours, the red-hot gun cooked rounds off. No trigger was needed. Finally, the grip caught on fire. After 4,238 rounds and still firing, with the gun on fire, they called it quits. They couldn't get the Anderson to fail. This is that rifle. Look at these close-ups. This Anderson rifle shows absolutely no wear. Can your rifle do this? It can if it's an Anderson. RF85 makes it run with 85% less friction, 23% faster action, never needs oiling, and cleans up with soap and water. The Anderson rifle, the world's only no-lube rifle.
Brian, thanks for having us down, man.
Thank you for coming down, Max.
Brother, it was a blessing as
It's
always.
been a big day, hasn't it?
Hey, man, probably 150 kids plus, easy?
Easy,
Yeah,
easy.
and I think they had a blast. We had enough to do 6 different groups, rotate them in and out, did a lot of things. So why don't you take a minute and tell the folks exactly why you do what you do with the chapter, especially with the Jake's event. Just tell them what it means to you.
Well, JAKES, which stands for Juniors Acquiring Knowledge, Ethics, and Sportsmanship, is a program that the National Wild Turkey Federation has designed to get kids involved in outdoor activities and get them introduced to stuff, Max, that they're normally not able to get on a day-to-day basis through school, and parents have to work nowadays, so this is a day designed for them to be able to go out and enjoy the day with their parents and get involved in stuff, in the same time introducing the outdoors to them.
Brian, we never had nothing like this, did we?
Buddy, I tell you what, if I had a day like this when I was a kid, man, it is no telling the level of hunter that I would be now, the stuff that they offer to these kids now. It just not here in our area, but other areas as well. I would go to every one I could go to if I was a kid.
I would.
Again.
I tell you, I wished I had somebody to give me some of the tips and information that some of these people here have shared with these kids today. I tell you, I might be able to kill a turkey once in a while. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree.
The average age of the license holder that buys a license in this country is increasing yearly. We need to get our young people involved in the sport, and that's what Brian, the Dogwood chapter, has done here today.
Max, we've got to get these kids out of in front of the TVs, out in front of the
computers,
Segas and Nintendos.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother.
And get them out here and outdoors and get them to do something that I have a passion for, you have a passion for, and maybe if we got 50% of these kids involved in hunting, that would keep our sport alive, because right here today is the future of our sport.
Not only is it the future of our sport, folks, right here today, what we had going on here today is the future of our great country. Brian, thanks for having us.
Max, thank you for coming down.
The Dogwood chapter has a unique policy. As many people know, Virginia has a youth day, started about 3 seasons ago. Long story short, the Dogwood chapter has a policy. Every qualified kid goes. They make a list. You sign up if you're under the correct age, if you're 15 or younger, and you want to go turkey hunting and you've passed your hunter safety course, the Dogwood chapter will find somebody and find you a place and take you turkey hunting. This year, I got a phone call from Brian. Brian said, Max, can you help me? I said, what's going on, brother? I said, I got more kids and we got people to take on the youth day hunt. He said, I got a place to take this young man. He said, but I got a young man named Michael Dillard, and he's down in Alta Vista, Virginia, and he's in need of somebody to go with him. I said, better yet, let's take the cameras and go out there and see if we can't make an opportunity happen. I got the contact information for a man named Ike Wright from Bryan to coordinate the rest of the hunt. I give Ike a call, find out he's one of the field directors of a place called Fulfillment Farms. It's a really opportunity-oriented place. I was really excited about the opportunities that we were going to have for Mike. So, we made the preparations, got Mike arranged. Ike was going to pick Mike up. I was going to meet him at the farm that morning. I got up that morning, stuck my head out the windows, and it was snowing. Yes, I said snowing. It is early April, and it is snowing in Virginia. I'd already told Ike, because it was calling for this weather, if it's bad, if I can get there, I'm coming. I fire up the old Dodge, grab all the equipment, lock it in four-wheel drive, and down the road I go. And as I started over Afton Mountain, I had another treat, something we don't normally see. I'm coming across Afton Mountain, heading to Charlottesville, and believe it or not, there's a skiff of snow on the ground. Plus, the fog light system that the Afton Mountain is famous for is also operating. So I thought I'd take a minute and show it to you guys. We get there, and we were trying to talk to Mike, and Ike had talked to Mike on the way up there, them riding in Ike's truck. But this weather, and he'd been out the night before Ike had tried to roost a bird. This is abnormally cool weather for this time of year, snow on the ground. And the prospects of getting on a bird that would be willing to work weren't near as good because of the weather conditions as they would have been if it would have been a normal early April day. Nonetheless, we get up to where we need to be, start up this logging road in the dark. Ike owl hoots a few times, nothing. We ease on up there, and we're standing on top of this ridge, and Ike says, "Hey, this is probably the best roosting spot on the property." And just about the time he got halfway through the word property, pow, this gobbler fires off. Ike looks at me and says, "Hey, big boy," I said, "I've done my job. Now it's your turn." I look around, find a place to set up. Never been in this property before. It was breaking day. Of course, the snow made it worse. Get set up, and long story short, I lay down some soft tree stuff, a couple little clucks, and a little tree elk, and he just pow. And I'm like, all right, this just might happen.
Folks, the action continues when we return right here on Just Killing Time.
Our Anderson No Lube AR-15 is built with pride in the USA, right here in Hebron, Kentucky. Our 30,000 square foot facility has the latest in computerized manufacturing. Only Anderson rifles have RF85 that reduces friction 85%, never needs oiling, and cleans up with soap and water. Anderson quality control is second to none. The Anderson AR-15, the world's only no lube rifle.
A little while later, I did a fly down. Next thing I know, bird's on the ground, and he's coming. And I'm telling Mike, instructing him, say, you keep your eyes open, get your gun ready. You got to be still. If you have to make any movements, wait till the turkey's head's behind a tree. Next thing I know, this bird's on top of us.
Where'd you get a clear shot, Gil? He's in range. Where'd you get a clear shot? He's in, kill him.
The bird comes into our hard right. I can't see in the camera lens. Can't see what the camera's seeing. I swing the camera to the right and zoom all the way out. You look at the footage, it looks like the bird's 50 yards out. He's really 28 yards away.
Can you get the beat on him? Don't move. I don't see his head. Okay, this way. Wait till you see his head. Shoot him in the head. Just relax. You get excited to kill him. You gotta get the beat on his head. Pull the trigger. Make sure you got a good sight.
About this time I realized Mike still didn't have his gun up. It was on his knee, but he didn't have it shouldered. He didn't have the stock to his shoulder. So I talked him through the bird spinning while he was in full strut, and you can hear him spitting and drumming on the footage, just gobbling, just knocking it down. Like I say, he was 30 yards. It's in the kill zone, as I'd call it. And I finally talked Mike through getting the gun up, and he's excited. I'm excited. I know that Ike's sitting behind us, 20 yards behind us on a tree where he's set up. He's excited.
He's lined up, put it on his head, pull the trigger. Oh, God, come on. Come on. That shotgun will kill him to that brush. So don't shoot. It's up to you. Whenever you got a shot, put it on his head. If you can see his head, kill him. Do I shoot him now? Yeah, if you want to, if you got his head, shoot him. Make sure you got it aimed on him good. Squeeze the trigger. Should I lift the gun now? What? Should I lift the gun now? Is he looking at you? Can you see his head? What? He's looking right at me. Well, he turns his butt around to you where he got his fingers up, you can move. Come on. Step behind the tree. Try to ease you going up. You're real slow. Okay, you got to shoot him. As soon as you get a sight on it, kick his head off and shoot his head. I can't see his head.
I tell him to ease and pull down on the middle of the neck and squeeze the trigger and pull a fine bead, and he's like, I'm having problems seeing his head, and I understand why. In the white snow, you know, that bluish neon blue head, it's gonna be hard to see. Finally, I said, just take your time, Mike. Kill him when you can.
Don't move too much. You'll see. Oh, his head's behind the tree. Okay. Okay, now his head. Kill him. Put it on his head. Take your time, kill him. Wait till you. You ready? Open your gun, go stand on his head. Go stand on his head.
After the shot, it was just a powdery snow falling all down around the bird. It was beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen in the woods.
Just put your foot on his head, Mike. Thank the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, sir. He's okay. Just stand on his head, Mike.
Congratulations there, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful bird.
Yep.
Well, how many birds have you killed in the spring?
This is the first one in the spring.
First one in the spring?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the first one in the spring I've ever been involved with in the snow. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a little nippy out here.
Yeah, it's a little cool. This morning we was driving in. We weren't too optimistic because of this cold temperature. Well,
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful bird. Got over inch spurs, over 11-inch beard. And we're in southern Albemarle County, and you're from
Alta Vista, Virginia.
Alta Vista. That's down in between Danville and
Lynchburg.
Lynchburg.
Yes, sir.
So that's a pretty good little jag drive up here.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking for your turkey trap. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Man, what a beautiful day.
Well, folks, as you can see, that was an exciting hunt. And I'm just blessed that Mr. Wright and Fulfillment Farms allowed the Dogwood chapter to have Mike up. Mike, what can you say about that, brother? Congratulations again. I told you, I've sat there with grown men before and seen them lose their cool and composure in the situation you did, and I'm proud of you. I was honored that God allowed me to be with you when you killed your first turkey, and I hope you had half as much fun as I did.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Wright, God bless you.
Hey.
Thank you for having us up here. Thank
My-
all the staff at Fulfillment Farms for us for having us up. We really,
That's what we're about.
well, I tell you,
This right here. Young people getting into the outdoors, and snow opening day for the Youth Day here in the state of Virginia is unbelievable.
it's unreal.
So, first time for me.
This Anderson rifle shot 5,000 rounds without a drop of oil.
We're gonna clean it Anderson style. Think she's clean.
Anderson rifles never need oiling and clean up with soap and water. The Anderson rifle, the world's only no-lube rifle.
Hi folks, I'm Mike Trout of BTD Sense and Game Calls. I want to take a minute today and talk to you a little bit about a question that we get asked a lot at our shows. And that is simply, how do I use a diaphragm mouth call? Well, using the diaphragm mouth call is not all that complicated. Mainly, it's learning how to hold the call in your mouth, and that's what I'm going to talk to you a minute here today about. A diaphragm mouth call consists of several things. There's this raised piece underneath here that's called a frame. Most of them are aluminum. They can be flexed a little bit to make them fit your mouth. You have the reed part right here, which is actually the little latex or prophylactic material, depending on what it is. And then you have the tape, we call it, which is actually the green part of this call. Those three components make up a mouth call. The mouth call goes in your mouth with the open end, the horseshoe end, facing outward. And I'm going to use my finger as if it were my tongue. If my finger were my tongue, you want to take that call and lay it back just a little bit. You don't want it right on the edge of your tongue, right behind your front teeth. You want that call back about halfway on your tongue. And you want to use your tongue and lift that call into the roof of your mouth and make a seal between the tape and the roof of your mouth. Then you want to force air from your diaphragm, not just from your mouth, but out of your diaphragm. And then force that air over top of your tongue and underneath the reeds of the call to make the sound. So you take your tongue, seal the call in the roof of your mouth, blow the air out of your diaphragm over the tongue and underneath the reeds while you hold the call firmly in place with your tongue. First sounds you can get out of a call are not going to be that great. It took me several weeks to get my first sounds out of a call years ago, and they're going to sound something like this. I'm going to, don't be discouraged. It's the hardest thing to do is get the first sound. Your first sounds are going to sound something like that out of your call. I guarantee it. After you master that, learn to do your yelp. First call you need to learn to do is the yelp. Once you get to doing the yelp, you'll feel real good. Yelp's real simple to do. Say the word whop or kialk. A yelp is a two-syllable sound. You have a high note and a low note. And a hen yelp something like this. Hardest thing to do, remember, is get the first sound out of the call. Once you do that, you can move the call around in your mouth, different places, and find out how it works best for you. Before you know it, you'll be making yelps, clucks, and purrs, just as beautiful as you ever please with a mouth call. And that'll allow you to do what you need to do in close without making movement to seal the deal on that next turkey this spring.
Folks, next week we're breaking right into our spring turkey season. We're starting in some of the early season spots like Florida and South Carolina, and then heading on up to Virginia. Tune in next week as we begin our spring gobbler season right here on Just Killing Time.